So right now we are at the 30th Annual Denver Art Museum Friendship Powwow. This has been going on for 30 years and we are just celebrating the American Indian culture here in Denver. The significance of a powwow is not only bringing our traditions out to the open, but also passing them down to our children. Many Native Americans have been here in Colorado for hundreds and hundreds of years before Colorado was even a state.
You know, sometimes I'll be driving, especially here in Colorado, and I'll see a sticker on a car that says Native, and I get excited, and I'll drive up beside him, I look in, but I don't see an Indian. What does it mean to be Indian? And it goes back to who is an Indian. It's a belief in who you are and where you came from. Indian people are very spiritual. Rick Waters, I am Kiowa Cherokee, originally from Oklahoma, have lived here in Colorado for 35 years now, and I am the co-executive director for the Denver Indian Center. The Denver Indian Center is a social service agency that has been here in the Westwood, Southwest Denver area since 1983 to help the community survive and thrive in the urban setting. We're envisioning a day of celebration, festival, recognition, acknowledgement, awareness for the Native American community here in Denver. One of the challenges that we face is invisibility. Perspective or knowledge of our community is, in many times, considered historical. From a historical standpoint, hunted buffalo, lived in teepees, that type of thing. So the invisibility part is bringing more awareness to we are still here, we still hold true our values and beliefs.
There's 40,000 Native Americans that live in the Denver metro area, which most people don't know. And we tend to be spread out all over. We're just scattered to the winds. Terri, Bissonette, Indigenous, Gnoje, Conning, Anishinaabe, Indojaba, Makwato, Dem. Hello, my name is Terri Bissonette. I am Gnoje, Conning, Anishinaabe. I was born and raised here in Denver, Colorado. I am the founder and head of school of American Indian Academy of Denver. Our history of education, to be honest, has been a very violent one. We were forced to go to boarding schools for almost 100 years.
Often you'll hear the phrase that was tied to the boarding system philosophy was kill the Indian, save the man. Education's important, but at that time it was more of kind of changing Indians so that they would be absorbed into American culture.
They took our grandparents away from their parents and they re-educated them, much like prisoners of war during wartime. They were basically stripped of their culture identity, and they did a good job. They did a great job. And we're trying to save what's left, what we have left of that.
Who wants to do some target practice? All right, who wants to go shoot some bows? Come on me.
My name is Steve LaPointe. I'm a cultural advisor for the Denver Indian Academy. You know, I was raised in our traditional ways. I'm a law enforcement instructor, that's my background.
There you go.
So I lend my talents and my cultural knowledge into these kids.
Following the boarding schools was the relocation program.
My mom actually came out to Denver during federal relocation, which was a federal program back in the 50s and 60s to relocate Native Americans, to encourage them to move to urban areas and move off the reservations.
But at that time, the opportunity was presented, move to the city, you'll get jobs, you'll get education, you'll have the American dream. It looked good on paper in some respects, but when many of the community got to the cities, and Denver included, they were not given a whole lot of direction and guidance on where to go to live, where they could go to work, and just dealing with culture shock.
It's hard to stay connected to culture. It's hard to stay connected to family back home. And to be honest, that's really one of the reasons why relocation was created, was to kind of break those ties.
And from that, the Denver Indian Center was formed.
Today we're at Talbot Memorial Grounds. It is an open space park that's owned by the City and County of Denver, and it is leased or set aside for the Native American community. And we are hosting a family gathering where our Native families are invited to come out and participate in different cultural activities.
And so here today, I'm teaching archery and parfleche making. And we're teaching the kids that way they know some of the history behind what we're doing.
So it's really it's a chance for our families to get out of the city, enjoy being out in nature, and also just have fun.
We're gonna be camping out here tonight. Most of my friends are online, but it's a nice break to, you know, sort of unplug for the most part.
I am a certified teacher, I'm an educator. Our focus is on Indigenous kids. The Native American students in DPS do not do very well. Our graduation rate hovers around 50%. It's a very complicated and complex issue.
A lot of students across the country who are Native American do not see that their culture is represented in their educational materials. It's really, really difficult, and it's a struggle and to know whether we focus our efforts on the little kids who are just, you know, struggling with identity issues, having to be the person in their classroom that corrects their teacher when she says that the Pilgrims saved the Indians, or speak up in class when their classmate comes dressed as an Indian princess. Are we focusing on those kids, or the middle school kids who are learning what it means to be a young adult, or the high school students?
Well, the thing is, with the way I grew up, it wasn't necessarily the best. Never really had time to explore any of my sort of ethnic background. So I guess sort of like bridging that disconnect is important to me.
Things have been lost, practices have been lost, and just certain ways about the ways that we go about living everyday life have been lost. And especially the part of identity has been lost. The different types of hardships that we go through are different than what other minorities go through. You know, just say walking down 16th Street Mall, unless somebody has certain facial features, what they call phenotypes, and a braid, or maybe jewelry, it's hard to say, oh, there's a native. There's a native. I mean, I've been called ethnically ambiguous because Brazilians think I'm Brazilian, Colombians think I'm Colombian, Hispanics think I'm Hispanic. You know, so I blend in very well. And so do a lot of our kids. So it's really important for people to know who each other are in our communities.
So with respect to the American Indian Academy here in Denver, I think that's number one, brings awareness to those that will be attending, but also a pride of who you are.
Shane Amachiapilo just means my name is Shane. Being part of something bigger than myself is really special. Other Native people my age haven't really connected with their culture, but I'm glad that my grandpa and my mom have really given me the opportunity.
So they become stronger, more self-aware.
So when these kids have each other to lean on, it'll make it that much easier for them.
And so that is really one of the biggest reasons why we believe these types of schools are so important, because they allow our kids to celebrate their culture while also being kids in the 21st century. And that's really, really important.
We're your neighbors, we're your coworkers, we're still here very prominently, particularly here in Denver, which is considered in many circles the crossroads of Indian country, home to over 40 historic tribes that are still represented here. Well, come back to the Denver Indian Center. We are here, we're not going anywhere, we're proud of who we are, and that we're contributing to society, we're contributing to our communities.
My name is Seneca Williams II, and I am Denver.
My name is Shane, and I am Denver.
My name is Steve LaPointe, and I am Denver.
My name is Jennifer Wolf, and I am Denver.
My name is Dustin Baird. I am Denver.
My name is Terri Bissonette. I am Denver.
I'm Rick Waters, and I am Denver.